Welcome into Crossing the Aisle with Shaun and Lindsey. Hey, Shaun.
Hey,
Uh
is
oh.
my mic off?
No.
It's off? Okay.
Or do you have the right mic?
I
No,
don't
you
know.
don't.
I
You do
don't.
not.
God, it's always
It's
problems.
it's always something.
It's always got a problem in here. I swear.
Always,
We need a
always.
producer, Lindsay. Do you think Cliff would come? I know Kim Wade can't because he doesn't know how to do this stuff either. So
Yeah, Cliff, come help us.
yeah, we need to help some son.
We're on the struggle bus.
I know. I think we just need to mark the mics as like mic for
I don't know how
mics
they.
for idiots. That's for me.
I
Like
don't know how they get all mixed up.
every time, everybody's got their own method of madness, and we only get like less than 5 minutes to really get the stuff together before we rock and roll on here. But anyway, enough about our problems. There's a lot of problems that have happened the last 24 hours that we've seen with local politicians and local football heroes and all that kind of
Local
stuff.
fake Facebook accounts.
Yeah, that's I've been hit with that one all morning. So, man, and I'm trying to do. I have so much. I've been so busy today, Lindsay, too, and like then I'm getting blown up about stuff that's like not my own work related. This becomes like a job, though. It really does. Be on the radio, like it's supposed to be like more of a hobby for me, but it's now become like a second job. Like where my first job is practicing law, but then like I get a lot of radio stuff during the day too, and there's always some news. Well, anyway, we've got well, we did have there was some breaking news about the Facebook stuff. I guess we can try to get to that later. It seemed like it was covered pretty well this morning, though. But there's
Yeah.
two big things that we had planned to discuss. One was there was a Netflix documentary that came out yesterday called Untold. No, I think is it the fall of Brett
The
Favre?
fall of Brett Favre.
Yeah, and so Lindsay and I she was at her house, I was at my house, and we timed ourselves to start it and then kind of discuss what it would be, what we felt about it, and then kind of ancillary to that is there's an article in the Mississippi Today about Shad White and his issues with MAGA, the Make America Great movement that Donald Trump's made famous, and it outlines a lot of those, and we're going to discuss that too today, which is really interesting how that plays into, ironically, like this came out. I'm sure it's kind of planned, but the Brett Favre documentary comes out, and then the next day there's this kind of article about Shad White. So we're going to get into all that.
Yeah, so let us know what you think too. If you watched the documentary, give us a call. Let us know your thoughts, opinions. 601-879-0002. Didn't shine Brett Favre in such a great light, Shaun?
No, I thought the documentary could have been a lot more extensive. It needed to be longer. It was only 1
It
hour.
needed to be longer, but what we did learn is if you want to be able to get away with murder or anything thereof and nobody be mad at you for it,
Throw a football.
be able to throw a football.
If you can throw a football, you have the keys to the world.
You do. It definitely
in the
seems
South.
that way. One of my favorite parts was they asked a reporter in Green Bay to do a story about Brett Favre, the Family Man.
Mm-hmm.
And the reporter says, "I'm sorry, I don't write fiction."
Yeah.
So evidently Brett Favre had quite the reputation when he played for Green Bay for being kind of a ladies' man.
Yeah, he was well, you're the star quarterback. I'm sure they're just throwing it in. He said he wasn't married when he got there. I know he had seen it, like he was dating his wife in high school, and maybe they broke up, I'm guessing, just from the documentary. And so when he got there, he's 23 years old, and he was single guy at that point, but did have a daughter already. And he kind of, he said he partied a lot, apparently. Which I guess you kind of expect. You're the star quarterback, that's going to tend to happen. And,
Yeah.
And then, of course, I think he got married at some point. I don't know when that was while he was in Green Bay. But towards the end of his career, the documentary focuses on when he was he retired, I guess, from the Packers, and then decided to come back into the NFL, which I know Lindsay doesn't know this, but if you're a big sports fan, we all remember the Brett Favre retirement saga. He'd retire, then come back, retire, and all that kind of stuff.
Some parts of the documentary, they showed him saying, "I can say for sure I will never play another NFL football game in my lifetime." And then the next scene cuts to him signing with another team.
Yeah.
Like coming back to play. And, I guess, Shaun, my opinion of Brett Favre, of course, I don't follow sports all that closely, as you know, but, my opinion has always been like local hero, came back to live in Mississippi. He does all these benevolent things and raises money for great causes. And that's not who he is at all.
No, it doesn't seem, well, I remember back in the 90s, there was talks about his, and I think I remember reading when I was in high school, even in the Clarion Ledger, about him having some addiction problems, alcohol and all that kind of stuff. I think that's right. He had some issues there, and that happens to a lot of people. So I'm not even judging him for that at all. But especially in the sports world, pills, like they're in pain constantly and whatnot. But then then there of course are the stories about the the philandering and all that stuff, and then it culminated with the Jen Sturger, infamous New York Jets, when he sent a pic of his how do I say this on the radio, his private parts to her unsolicited,
And
D
that does
pic.
happen. That does
Yes, I know
happen.
women have explained this to me for years. The
I
unsolicited.
mean, I think I've showed you a few of them that have shown up in
Unfortunately,
my inbox.
yeah, this is I mean, and that's what I always wondered, like, does that work?
No,
Like, does that work?
absolutely
Well,
not.
Brett didn't. It didn't work for Brett.
It doesn't work for anyone. Guys, listen to me.
This does not work.
It is not going to work. Do not send a picture of your private parts to a female out of nowhere who has not asked for it, because she doesn't like that. She doesn't want that.
Yeah, I just wonder who was the I guess the penis pic pioneer. Like, who decided?
Maybe it was
well,
Brett.
I asked that question on Facebook last night. I said, did he did he use a flip phone or the first
No,
generation iPhone?
no. I love what you said, because the first person to chime in was Kingfish, and he's like, "You could send pics on Blackberries back then."
Yeah, and then I was like, you would have known that, Kingfish, right? He was like, look, I can tell you on the Blackberry, it worked just fine. HD quality.
Kingfish, don't tell me you're one of those. Don't tell me you're one of those.
And that quality, he knew right away which kind of phone you could send. Amazing, he knew. Like in 2008, Kingfish.
He's gonna kill us.
That's but I mean, so I was always wondering, was it a flip phone that he was like? Remember those? I used to have a Motorola Razor phone back then. I don't know if you remember those.
I did.
And for you young folks, it was a silver phone that looked real cool when it flipped, and it was kind of the fancier version of the flip phones that had come out later. And so I had one of those, and so I didn't know.
Brett sponsored Miss Mississippi one year, and they gave us all one of this brand, and we thought we were so cool because
is that
all the contestants got one of the
in the 80s?
Shut up, Shaun.
No, in the 80s. Okay. And that was just about the time we were transitioning to the iPhone. I think it came out around 08, 09. I couldn't remember, but so I was wondering, was it a flip phone or was it a first generation iPhone? Like, how did Brett get the pic to Jen Sturger? So that
he emailed it, I think. And was it an email? I know he was emailing her, and at first she did not know who he was. Did you get a pic over there?
No. No one's sending me just like, this is work stuff related. I have to text while I talk. And, anyway, so I don't know what mechanism he used. Apparently, he did go through email. It wasn't I guess it wasn't a text pic. It was an email pic, right?
I think they were emailing, and at first I was kind of like, well, this girl's full of herself. I mean, she gets discovered because she spilled something on her shirt and ended up in a bikini top at a football game, and then whoever was doing the commentary made a remark about her, and then all of a sudden
Brett Musburger was actually who said that. He said that
she contracts the Bretts, huh?
Yeah. Brent Musburger,
Brent, okay.
Famous, infamous sportscaster, and he said that right now 1,500 red-blooded Americans have signed up or applied to Florida State. That was the line that he said.
Well, and then all of a sudden she's hosting these sports shows, and I guess she went to work for the Green Bay Packers for a season.
No, she went to work for the Jets.
Oh, for the Jets. That's when he was at the Jets. Okay,
this was post Green Bay Packers 2008 season. And he was playing with the Jets, and she and she didn't tell anybody during the season. It was years later. Like,
I don't think she meant to tell anybody years later. It was off the record, and it got put out there. So I felt a little bad for her at that part. But somebody made a comment on the documentary that, I mean, you're selling sex. What do you expect? And I mean, that's kind of true. I mean, that's kind of what she was out there promoting, was sex.
Sure, she was. I mean, I'm not saying she deserved to. I mean, I don't know that. I mean, I guess the emails he sent, I mean, he was married, so he probably shouldn't have done that.
And she did look an awful lot like his wife.
She did. But I mean, doesn't mean like a married guy should be doing that. I'm not saying that. No. Obviously that's immoral, but I think if he was just sending like, hey, let's meet up. Okay, that's bad because he's married. But the pic, I think, was a bit excessive. And I don't know where he thought that was gonna work.
Yeah.
And then obviously it didn't, because she actually said that she never met him.
She said to this day she's never met him, never been in the same room with him. So now her career is over. Now I don't know if her career is over because of this incident or because she just really was a girl in a bikini that didn't know a whole lot about sports. But either way,
she wasn't Aaron Andrews, who's made a career of being a sports.
But Aaron Andrews very well versed in sports. Like, she could talk football with anybody.
That's what I'm saying. Like, someone who's actually really who's a pretty woman and knowledgeable with sports. Yeah.
So not sure if that was the case or if it really was. You just can't turn down Brett Favre.
Yeah, and
how dare you?
And I guess that's what the Green Bay reporters were saying, that you know, he was not used to that because he was such a star celebrity in Green Bay. I guess he probably just, you know, was able to do that regularly. And then of course, stories came out of other women he had done this to. I think there were some let go from the team. Like there were like masseuses, always the masseuses, which kind of makes sense. Always get caught up in this, like with Deshaun Watson and all the massages and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so
I remember you telling me about that. I was like, what?
Yeah. So I mean, so it goes. The first half of the documentary is based on the dick pic scandal, you know, and I mean,
I think you can say
I think you
that.
can say that word. I think you can say that word. I mean, I could mean somebody's name.
Well, I got in trouble for saying that on the radio because I was reading from one of the school books that.
Oh.
And so.
We'll call you know, it's called PP pic or whatever you want to say. A photo from. I wonder if he had a number 4 tattoo on it.
Was that his football number?
Yeah. And so then it transitioned.
Oh, that would hurt. I would think to tattoo a number there.
I mean, it's yeah. I mean, I'm sure it would. I don't know. I've never tried. I've never tried to get a tattoo there. So and then it transitions into the scandal that we know so well here in Mississippi, the welfare scandal and the things that happened with Brett Favre. And of course, we know everybody's got their own opinions on that one way or the other. And, you know, whether, you know, Brett didn't do anything, you hear a lot of that. And some people say Brett did everything. So it's kind of, you know, it's kind of a big back and forth on what actually occurred. And they didn't release any new information that I saw that I didn't already know. Maybe there's some people did, but
I think they just kind of put it all together, the scandals.
Yeah.
You know, in one nice little hour-long program.
Yeah, I think, you know, the thing with Brett Favre, I mean, there was the text messages between him and Nancy New where he said, like, is anybody going to find out? So it kind of indicates that he knew the source of the money. I would assume
because she even says, I don't blame you for being insecure or being concerned about that. So it's almost like it just gives the impression that he clearly knew he was doing something immoral.
Yeah.
Whether it be illegal or not.
Well, I'll tell you one,
certainly unethical.
The only defense of Brett I'll have in some of this is, and I don't defend him in terms of the, you know, like he got paid that money, he paid it back, but that doesn't absolve you of it either.
He didn't pay the interest back. Is that what it was?
Right, he didn't pay the interest, but the volleyball court issue is the one that's been made a lot of hay about that, and that was presented to the Jim Hood Attorney General's office, who signed off on it, as far as my recollection is correct on that case. So, I mean, you know, yeah, welfare funds should not be used for volleyball court, but I'm surprised the AG didn't say, yeah, they shouldn't, but they didn't. And that just seems to me always conveniently left out of that argument. Like, why did the Attorney General's office, who had some oversight over this, didn't just put the axe on it? But they didn't. So now it doesn't mean that Brett should have tried to get it for that, but it's still well, the Attorney General said okay. So the whole thing was completely messed up. And I really, you know, yes, do I think Brett has some culpability here, morally at least? Yes. My issue is more with the state of Mississippi in the way they administered these funds, and that they should have known that.
Why was there not a better process
on
how to relinquish these funds and where they go and who's following it up and someone? Why is there not a chain of custody on these funds? Basically,
they're given to these groups like Nancy News Group, like a private group. Why isn't DHS just doing this themselves? Now, I know you guys on the right talk about small government, but there's some core governmental functions, collecting child support, which we outsourced a lot too, by the way, in the state. You know, running those, administering
Williams or whatever the group is that's come in to do that. Which let me tell you, they don't do a great job.
Well, I don't know why we're outsourcing that to private law firms. That's a governmental function, to my point. Police, governmental function. There's some things government does. Have a military, you know, and I'm fine with privatizing certain things, but I think this is an example of when privatization of government functions goes wrong. Like, you give this, it's welfare money. The state should have handed that out to the appropriate parties on their own and not administered it through these groups. These quote nonprofit groups, and we all know about the nonprofit hustle. So it's I think, and you can see how this is just a clear example how bad that can go. And we're not the only state that's done this. There's plenty of other states that has with those blocked federal grants. So anyway, we got time. We got to go to our break. We're at 12:21. So
yeah, let's take a break, but stay with us, and we will be right back to discuss this some more and break it down a little more. So stay with us right here, WIB 103.9. Discuss this some more and break it down a little more. So stay with us right here, WIB 103.9.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB. Did you know that the average 6-room house collects 40 pounds of dust each year? Local business Pure Air Consultants duct cleaning service can rid your home of the dust, dirt, and debris that may be caught in your air ducts. They can eliminate the mold, fungi, and microbes that might be growing inside your ductwork and polluting the air you breathe in your home. Mention WYAB and receive a free UV light with system replacement. Visit online at mypureairconsultants.com. mypureairconsultants.com.
Are you looking to get stronger, fitter, and push your limits? CrossFit Fondren is where Jackson trains. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned athlete, our expert coaches and supportive community will help you crush your goals. Join us for high-intensity workouts that build strength, endurance, and confidence. No gimmicks, just real results. Try your first class today for free. Visit us at CrossFitFondren.com or stop by the gym 3002 North Mill Street in Jackson, in the heart of Fondren.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Hometown Hardware in Flora has the new addition to Hometown Rental, ready to rent you the tool to make your next project as painless as possible. Hometown Rental has gas-powered steel outdoor power products for rent. Chainsaws, pole saws, weed trimmers, blowers, and pressure washers. And to keep your lawn in tip-top shape, we can rent you a zero-turn mower, lawn edger, or bed sculptor. For your next DIY home improvement project, Hometown Rental will even rent you Milwaukee battery-powered tools, impact drivers, drills, grinders, reciprocal saws, and nail guns. All of these tools are always available to purchase, but sometimes rental is just the better option. As for large equipment, Hometown Rental has multiple sizes of post hole diggers, tillers, chippers, trenchers, and mini excavators. On these pieces of equipment, rental is certainly a better option than purchasing, considering they're just not used that often. Call Hometown Rental today to book the tool for your upcoming project. We're located at 1085 Highway 49 North in Flora. Our number is 601-879-0402. That's 601-879-0402.
Craving something extraordinary in Jackson? Manship Restaurant is where your taste buds hit the jackpot. Join us for happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. where your wallet will thank you and your stomach will sing. Indulge in half-price wood-fired pizzas, because why pay full price for half the fun? And for just $5, dive into our private barrel bourbon picks. That's right, luxury on a budget. Plus, beat the heat with our frozen drink specials, a tropical escape without the travel expenses. Make your way to the Manship, where happy hour isn't just a time, it's an experience.
Hey everybody, it's John at Two Gun Tactical. We're having Kim Wade Wednesdays at both locations. So you come in and mention Kim Wade on a Wednesday, you get half price range fees. Hey, if you're a member, we're going to give you an extra free target just for mentioning Kim Wade show. Come on in and work on your shooting and exercise that 2A right that if we don't fight for it, we won't have it much longer. It's twoguntactical.com. That's the number 2guntactical.com.
This ad is for all the guys who work hard and they expect their truck to do the same. At RPT Commercial, we have the accessories to help you on the job site. From names like Bedrock flatbeds, WeatherGuard toolboxes, Nap-High service bodies, ARE camper tops, deck storage solutions, and so much more. Stop by our new store on Highway 80 in Pearl and check with our expert staff and see what they can do to make the job just a little bit easier on you. At RPT Commercial, trucks live here.
Come together right now over me.
We are back here on Crossing the Aisle with Shaun and Lindsey.
We are back here. Yes. Okay. So we were talking about Brett Favre and his PP picks, and then the welfare scandal that we all know and don't love.
And how those pictures never work with girls, guys. They never, ever, ever work. I'm telling you, take it from me. They do not work.
Every girl I've ever talked to gets a ton of these things. It's crazy.
I would never in a million years think to, hey, let me just send some nude photos to some random guy who I hope will ask me out once he sees this.
Yeah.
I just don't understand the mind capacity in that aspect. It just makes no sense.
I mean, I can almost understand the guys that aren't famous. Like, not I can't understand it. I think it's stupid. But if I'm Brett Favre, I'm just gonna walk place. I'm Brett Favre, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure there's plenty of girls who will sleep with him just because he's Brett Favre.
right. Like if
I mean,
if you don't want me, I'll just go try to find
yeah, another
somebody
girl that
else.
looks just like Jen Sturger. Like, there's like a bunch of them. You could do that. I'm sure he's done that before. I'm guessing. Don't sue me, Brett. I don't know that. And,
I wonder why they didn't have. I mean, they had Benny Thompson of all people on this documentary, which I thought was kind of like, why him, and not Shad? And I don't know if maybe Netflix was thinking, or the people who made the documentary were thinking, we don't want to be sued because there are pending lawsuits.
Well, yeah. I mean, they did. It did seem like it was definitely, we call it pro-liberal, right? Because they had like Ashton Pittman. And then I forget that lady, Jessie, whatever, the black woman who was like
she made a lot of sense.
Yeah. But she was like, I think she was the Hellraiser on ESPN at one point. I can't remember her name. Anyway, well, good thing for Shad, he doesn't need any more Brett Favre stuff, according to the Mississippi Today. And that was our next topic.
Which, I mean, consider the source. It's Mississippi Today. So
yeah, well, some of this is, I mean, they're reporting stuff that we've already read. I'll give them that on it. I understand that it's biased, but so Mississippi Today's got an article today that talks about Shad White running for governor as pro-Trump candidate, but does MAGA have a problem with him? And it goes into all of that stuff about his possible feud with MAGA. The ones that we know publicly are obviously the broadcast that Charlie Kirk did attacking him. You remember that, Lindsay?
Mm-hmm.
And
I do remember that.
I think Kirk said in that we will do anything to prevent you from being governor, because they were on Favre's side. And basically, the thing about this is, y'all, it's and I think maybe it's the worst kept secret in Mississippi, or I guess publicly everybody knows about it. Trump and Favre are buddies. I mean, they're friends. So they're friends. There are pictures of them playing golf together. Favre went out to Green Bay, did a rally for him. I mean, they're buddies. So I think that there's a lot of that animosity there between obviously Favre and Shad White, which he's, just like anybody's like, hey, Mr. President, Shad's messing with me. And I mean, that's kind of what I'm assuming is going on. I don't know that, but that's what, at least people in Trump world are.
Being friends with Donald Trump doesn't necessarily make you a good person.
No, that's
Let's
true.
just like, I mean, come on.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I'm not, look, I think Shad's right here. Like, I think he did the right thing with this welfare scandal. That's not, I think going after Brett Favre as much as he has is probably the right thing to do. Like, and
it should have been exposed. Because like I said, regardless of whether it was illegal or not, it was definitely unethical. And that's proven in the text messages between Nancy New and Brett Favre. So, I mean, we know that obviously he knew it wasn't on the up and up.
Yeah.
And it should be exposed when it comes to Mississippi tax dollars. And, my side is always complaining that there's too much welfare. And there probably is. I mean, there is. We'll just say it. I mean, there are people who would rather sit back and wait on a check to come every month than actually go out and work and get a job. But does that mean that money should go to volleyball courts? You should steal it and use it for volleyball courts. I don't think so.
Not saying Brett stole anything, because before I get sued, I'm just saying, did people convert that money to their own private gain? It seems like that's probably what happened in a lot of these cases. So people pled guilty to it already in federal and state.
But nobody's in jail.
Not yet. No, there's nobody in jail
yet.
I mean,
I don't know what the holdup is with that, but
yeah. No, that's true. I assume people are working with the federal government and waiting on, because there's more people out there. I mean, that's my best guess why there's not been a sentencing in those cases yet, because there's been cooperation between it. I don't have any personal knowledge of that, but it just seems like obvious that they're working with the federal government to obtain more people ensnared into that, because they're not working with the Hinds County DA's office, I'm guessing.
Well, and regardless of who exposed this or who prosecuted this, whether it be the Hinds County DA or the government, the federal government, regardless, it should have been exposed, and these people should have to answer for what they did. I mean, Nancy New and her son Zach, like, living in these gorgeous houses that, where's this money coming from? I think there's a lot of unanswered questions, and I think
poor
that
people, money intended for poor people. I mean, and whether you think that welfare, the way we handle it, is right, is a separate issue, and I understand the arguments for and against. But what we all should agree is taking that money that's intended for a specific purpose and using it for your own purpose is not cool. Like that's not what
a lot of that money goes to feed kids, and whether or not their parents deserve to, it's money. It's food out of kids' mouths.
Yeah, I mean, and so there's that, and I think you and I are both agree with what Shad did in terms of like investigating the crap out of this. I think that was the right thing to do. The problem it's caused for him is in Trump world with because of Brett Favre, and that seems to be the only reason. I don't see another reason Trump would like him. He kind of parrots his positions pretty frequently, but the
so I mean the only reason
Brett Favre.
It would be Brett Favre.
Yeah, I mean, and you look right here. So other than the Charlie Kirk thing, there was a guy, Arthur Schwartz. He's a Washington political operative who's close to the Trump family, and he's been advisor to Donald Trump Jr. for years. Replied to a post that Shad White had made, and I'm quoting from the article. Shad White's post was, "After we're done, I'm volunteering for duty in the Trump-Musk Commission," referring to Doge, I assume, because he was doing audits on the state, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, and Schwartz, who's again Donald Trump Jr.'s advisor for many years and is a political operative, says that you're not getting anywhere near a Trump administration, and that the transition team has already been warned about you. Favre actually replied on this. I assume this is on Facebook. Comment or maybe
Twitter.
Maybe Twitter.
That's where they
probably
all
Twitter.
Right, Twitter.
Favre replied to Schwartz's comments with 2 laughing emojis, because that's adult of him, and prompting further back and forth between White and Schwartz. The political conundrum for White comes at a time when the Mississippi public official has informally started a Mississippi Office of Government Efficiency within the State Auditor's Office to root out government waste, modeled after Trump and Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, Doge. So,
but in this same article, it also says, however, neither Trump himself nor the White House administration has said anything publicly about the state auditor.
Right.
A White House official who wanted to remain anonymous told Mississippi Today that Trump has never said anything negative about White. Shad's been a great supporter of the president, and the president loves all of his supporters, the White House official said.
And that's in the article too, as well.
So, I mean, it kind of tells 2 different stories from 2 different anonymous sources.
Well, they're not anonymous. I mean, that was public. Trump's White House said that. And then these 2 aren't. I mean, Charlie Kirk and Arthur Schwartz those were public statements that they made. So, I mean, what we know is, at least gathered from this article and the public statements that were made, is that, yes, the president is not affirmatively saying, I don't like Shad, but Trump world is saying, I don't like Shad. Trump, the people connected to Trump world are saying that. And maybe it's just them, and maybe it's not the president. I mean, that's a possibility too. But the people that are connected to the president, closely connected, are obviously not fans of his. According to this,
my opinion is that there just won't be an endorsement in the governor's race in Mississippi, because he's certainly not going to endorse go jump in the Gulf of Mexico, which is no Gulf of America.
Yeah, that's what
he's certainly not going to endorse Democrat Delbert, a DEI Democrat Delbert, when it comes to the governor's race either. And if he does have some sort of problem with Shad due to the Brett Favre situation and doesn't want to endorse him, then I think Trump will just stay out of it.
Well, see, I disagree. I agree about Delbert, that I don't think he's going to endorse Delbert either. But I don't think Delbert's going to run. That's my prediction. I don't think Delbert's going to.
He announced last week.
He's going to drop out. He ain't making it. I just feel like it's not going to happen given his age and whatnot, and the public support. I think it's especially the age issue. I think in this time and age,
well, the fact that he literally fainted.
Yeah.
When we were talking about Biden's new cancer diagnosis, I was thinking about this with Delbert, because once he and banged his head pretty dang hard on the way down and would not go to the hospital. And I thought, if you planning on running for governor, like, the first thing you should do is go to the hospital, get checked out, and get a clean bill of health that you can show the people that, hey, I'm qualified. And he didn't do that. Like, he refused to leave the Capitol that day from what from what I've been told, from what I understand. So, I just don't see Trump endorsing either.
Well, I agree. I don't think Trump is going to endorse Delbert. I don't think he's going to. Now, I think he's more likely to endorse Shad down the line than you would be Delbert, if we're going to go that way, because Shad does parrot a lot of the stuff that Trump stands for. But if the Brett Favre is going to run interference, to use a football term here,
did you think of that last night?
No, that just came out of my.
You've been waiting to say that.
I did not. That just came out. So Brett Favre may run interference on that. I could see if Tommy Duff gets into this, I think Trump is going to endorse him, just for the simple fact, guy's a billionaire. He can help
He
Trump
can
out.
help Trump later down the road.
Yeah, and I could see that happening. So Tommy Duff gets in. I think Tommy Duff gets in. This thing's over anyway. If that happens.
I disagree. Well, I disagree, and I'll tell you why on the next side of this
All right.
break. But y'all stay with us right here, WIB. We'll be right back. Right here, WIB. We'll be right back.
.1039 WYAB.
Pure Air Consultants has always been your go-to for reliable and affordable heating and cooling systems, and now we are offering day and night brand to avoid the 25 to 30% increases that everyone is talking about. With day and night, Pure Air Consultants professionals can install a reliable system with a 10-year system warranty, and right now receive $20 off on service diagnostic fees. Call us today, 601-939-7420, mypureairconsultants.com.
I'm Sean Yurtkaran, and I've spent nearly 20 years in the courtroom, first as a prosecutor in Hinds County, now fighting for my clients as a defense attorney. I know how the system works, and I know how to protect your rights. If you're facing criminal charges, don't wait. Call me at 601-862-1320 or visit me at onetextlaw.com. That's onetextlaw.com. Serious cases need serious defense. And remember, just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. Let's get to work.
At Johnny's Pizza House, we consider our customers like family, so we spend the extra time needed to put more love into making our pizza. From our dough made fresh daily to fresh, never frozen ingredients, Johnny's Pizza House takes pride in knowing that what we serve our customers isn't just pizza. It's a slice of home in every single bite. Great traditions start with great food and great people. Start your tradition today with Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice.
Nick Bain served Mississippi for over a decade in the State House. During that time, he fought for our children by protecting them against explicit materials pushed by the woke agenda. He protected taxpayers by streamlining government and helped create policies that have made Mississippi better. Nick and his team at Bain Bowen will use the same tenacity in helping you with all your legal matters. Call them today at 601-953-2994. Find Nick online at bainbowen.com. That's BAIN Bowen.com.
CBS News special report. President Trump is hosting South Africa's president at the White House, where Trump played a video he says proves genocide claims by white South African farmers.
White South Africans are fleeing because of the violence and racist laws.
He also had paperwork.
These are articles over the last few days. Death of people. Death. Horrible death.
President Ramaphosa.
We were taught by Nelson Mandela that whenever there are problems, people need to sit down around a table and talk about it.
Well,
and this is precisely what we would also like to talk about, including, of course, trade matters, investment matters.
South African officials have strongly pushed back against Trump's accusations. Ramaphosa sought the meeting to set the record straight. CBS News special report. I'm Cammie McCormick.
We would like to invite you to visit our retirement community, which is not only beautiful, but affordable as well. I'm Rhonda Brown, director at the Waterford on Highland Colony in Ridgeland. Our enhanced dining services include 3 delicious daily meals served in our beautiful open dining room. In addition, we're pet friendly, and we're so excited about our brand new dog park. Call us at the Waterford on Highland Colony in Ridgeland, 601-856-6131.
Are you a wine enthusiast? Are you looking for the perfect bottle to elevate your next dinner? The ultimate destination for wine lovers is 042 Wine and Spirits on West Government Street in Brandon. They're locally owned, they're locally operated. 042 Wine offers something for everyone, from local favorites to rare vintage wines. 042 Wine and Spirits can help you find your next favorite wine. The friendly and knowledgeable folks at 042 Wine and Spirits will help you find the perfect bottle for every occasion. 042 Wine and Spirits, located on West Government Street in Brandon.
Why should you choose Ceramic Air Conditioning and Heating for all service or installation? Well, they purchase all parts directly from the manufacturer. All of their factory-trained technicians have been hand-selected for skill, work ethic, and experience. There are never any hidden fees or charges. Ceramic Air Conditioning and Heating is dedicated to your complete satisfaction, and they're family-owned and operated. For residential and commercial service or installation, contact Ceramic Air Conditioning and Heating, 601-317-0729, or make an appointment through their Facebook page.
Pops Auto Sales on Highway 49 in Florence is where you come to buy quality cars, trucks, and SUVs. Priced to fit your budget. At Pops Auto, we specialize in trucks. From four-wheel drives to diesels, our satisfied repeat buyers know Pops has one of the largest truck inventories for any independent dealer, period. Browse Pops inventory at popsautosales.LLC.com and get pre-approved for a zero down payment with approved credit, with warranties and service contracts available. Pops Auto Sales, your home for trucks. Highway 49 South in Florence.
Come together.
We are back here on Crossing the Aisle with Shaun and Lindsey.
Yep.
We were talking about people possibly running for governor and who has the best shot. Shaun and I disagree on Tommy Duff here. Shaun, why do you think he would be a good candidate?
Because he's got $1 gajillion. That's how he's got gajillion dollars. And I honestly think that of all the candidates, the only person that probably could have a race with him is Shad, because Shad's kind of had that insurgent, outsider attack kind of thing where he could maybe get more of a grassroots effort behind him. I think he could be successful there, where we live in a political age where that kind of thing has worked well. Donald Trump didn't raise near as much money as Kamala Harris. So, I mean, and look what he did. So that is a little different, but we live
right. So the one who had the most money didn't win.
No, and that, but there were a lot of political wins nationally in that. There's a lot more, it's a lot more extensive than what I'm saying here. Now, we're a state like Mississippi. Shad's got name recognition. Tough has zero, pretty much, unless you're just.
Shad's got a wife.
And I know you think that's a big deal.
It's a big deal. Ask Michael Cassidy. It's a big deal.
He almost beat Michael Guest, and he's not married. I mean, he would have if that other guy hadn't got into it.
It's a big deal. You need a wife. You need a family. You need to be that Christian who loves everybody.
Loves Jesus 27% more than his opponent.
At least 27% more. And Tommy Duff is a Mormon, and I'm not saying anything bad about Mormons here at all. Don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is, in Mississippi, I cannot see the people of Mississippi electing a Mormon who's not married, who has kids, who.
Does he have kids? I'm sure he does.
Yeah, and then the I guess the ex-wife has kind of been.
Well, maybe he's divorced. That's possible. You can be
from
divorced.
The internet.
And Mississippi has voted for a Mormon before. Mitt Romney, overwhelmingly. They voted for Mitt Romney over Barack Obama.
I can't see it happening.
I mean, so
I disagree with you. I just cannot see it happening.
I think since he's got $1 gajillion, and if he gets a Trump endorsement on that too, he's going to be pretty strong. I mean, he's going to be pretty strong. It's going to be tough. Like I said, I think out of the other candidates, that I think Shad would have the best chance against him. But the problem then you run into is if you get Tommy Duff with his $1 gajillion, and then you got Shad or Lynn or Andy Gibson or
don't count out Gerard.
Donors are going to start getting shy because they're facing a guy with $1 gajillion. So do they want to give to people when they know they're just that outmatched in fundraising? I mean, I think people are going to get skeptical on the other candidates and saying there's no way we're going to beat this juggernaut with this kind of money in a statewide election. So I think it's going to scare donors. It's going to be tough because he's going to be able to buy name recognition in 2 seconds if he wants to. And if he gets Trump down here for him, it's going to be tough. I mean, it's going to be tough. And I'm not the only one who thinks this. A lot of the politicals we talk to agree with this assessment. We had that one debate one night with our friend Pete Perry. Yeah. And he agrees that that was his position too, that I agree with him. I think that Tommy Duff comes in there like a juggernaut if he wants to do it. That's if he wants to do it.
Yeah, I've also heard that evidently there's some connection between Delbert and Tommy Duff, and that if Delbert gets into the race, that he would wait. I don't know if this is completely hearsay and allegedly is all over the place, but I have heard that through the grapevine. I did get a message that said Shad White for governor. on our feed. So
Hey, this is my point. Shad White's got the insurgent effect. That's why I think he would be best positioned to run an insurgency campaign against Duff, who would be seen as the Haley Barbour establishment guy with all the money and all those folks behind him. And the GOP is going to be, I think, you're going to have a lot of be fractioned there because they're already mad at Shad.
Yeah.
You've got the chairman of the GOP, obviously mad at Shad. So they're going to probably go with Duff, I'm going to guess, just based on all the stuff that's happened. So you're going to, but
yeah,
I think
I can't see that group of people going with Delbert.
no, they're not going to, but I mean, and again, I think Delbert's going to be a non-issue. I think the race would be Duff and Shad. And I think, but that plays to Shad's strengths is okay. The GOP's against me, the money's against me. I'm the insurgent. And
I'm the underdog.
Yeah. So he can run that pretty hard and he campaigns well. He's got a good social media presence with his rhetoric and all that stuff. I think he can, he would be best positioned because I don't think a Lynn Finch could do that against Duff. I don't think Gibson can do that against Duff. I think Shad would be the only one that could, I was going to use the word, had the balls to run the risk, but I guess maybe that's the best way to put it. But I think he would
Just
actually
don't send pictures of them.
Yeah. Don't be like your nemesis, Brett.
What was the line that they used that
I don't know.
I can't remember. It was really funny.
But I think, yeah, he would be the one best positioned to run that kind of campaign against. But then, of course, he's got to think, too, does he want to run that risk and give up his spot as auditor? Because they're all for election the same year. So he'd have to do that.
He'd have to give up that. And then if he doesn't win,
then he's out. I mean, he's out on the, he's out in no man's land at that point. So I don't know that maybe that's not something he wants to do. Maybe he wants to decide to run for lieutenant governor or attorney general. I think he'd be a good attorney general. I think that would be a bad spot for him.
Quarterback with spunk rudely flashes junk.
Yeah.
I thought that was the line of the documentary.
I think we're not going to be able to make a really accurate assessment of this until some more people announce. I'd
what their plans are.
Yeah, I think if Duff does, then that changes the entire race at that point. Now, if he doesn't, we can talk about that scenario. Then I think Shad still is the front runner at this point because I don't believe this is my assumption that Delbert is not going to. He might run a little bit, but then quit. That's kind of just where I'm feeling about this. I think Shad can beat Lynn. I think he can pound her with this law enforcement thing to death. I mean, I think that's hurts, especially what we heard about at the law enforcement luncheon over the trademark where they all basically just sat in silence. Oh, I mean, you've got that. In Mississippi, it ain't good to get the freaking law enforcement officers against you. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
It is not something you want to do.
Well, I'll tell you, there were a lot of law enforcement who actually were in support of Brandon Presley over Tate Reeves because of the appointment of
Sean Tyndall.
Shaun Tyndall.
Yeah, which is kind of, I mean, because Sean's done such a good job.
I think he has too, but I think a lot of the law enforcement community felt like he had never been boots on ground, and they felt like you needed to do that first before you come in and start ordering us around, kind of thing. And so, that was, I think they made a big deal about it, and that race was pretty close.
With Presley,
Mm-hmm.
I forget what the numbers were.
I don't remember what the numbers were in the end, but I know it was leading up to it. It was, Brandon Presley had a lot of support.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he had a lot of money too. He had a lot of other problems, so I think that affected him.
A fake marriage to Elvis Presley's cousin, and allegedly
fake marriage. Yeah. I think obviously he was a Democrat in Mississippi.
Yeah, boo.
Which you're not going to win. I mean, let's just be honest. It's really difficult to do that statewide. I mean, we're not in that time frame. I mean, that will happen, I think, when you have a black voting age majority in the state, but we're not looking at that for another 15 or 20 years. So, and once that happens, then yes, the state will convert to all Democrats, but that's going to be when we're much older than we are now.
I mean, and think about it that way with Shad, possibly some of the black vote that would normally vote Democrat.
See, I don't, maybe it depends. I don't see black voters ever getting out in the Republican primary, except the only time they did was, and you're going to hate me for mentioning this, 2014 against Chris McDaniel with Thad Cochran. That's the only time that I've seen that. Ordinarily, it's going to be hard for you to get black voters to vote in the Republican primary against, like, if you're talking about Shad versus Lynn or Shad versus Tommy Duff, that's not going to be an easy thing to accomplish. The 2014 was kind of a special circumstance. I would say, I think most people would agree with that too. So it's going to be hard to do that. Now, if he in the general election, I assume there's going to be some token Democratic, opponent like
You
the
think
truck
Brandon Presley
driver.
will run again?
I mean, I don't see that. I mean, there's so much stuff that's come out of him about him post election. I just think a lot of that might resurface, and I'm not going to mention that, but yeah, I think that there could be issues. So yeah, I don't think so. But I mean, I think the Democrats have a hard time fielding the strongest statewide candidate they had was Jim Hood in 2019, and Tate beat him pretty easily. So I just and I mean, Jim's heart I don't think was in it then, but still I think he would have lost. And it's just hard. It's not the right. The state isn't positioned to elect a statewide Democrat at this point in our history. Now, like I said, in 15, 20 years, it'll probably happen, but not at this point.
Wait, what is everybody commenting saying? Okay, Shaun, Zach may contact you about a civil rights violation issue, possibly.
No.
2 people have commented that just now. I don't know what are y'all talking about? Who, Zach Service?
I don't look at the YouTube comments because you're the one looking at them there because you have the restream open. But so I don't know. I don't see that happening. I think for any other candidate that's not named Tommy Duff, they have to be worried if Tommy Duff is getting in the race. I think that's what they've been.
Well, I mean, you got to be worried with somebody that much money, because money talks.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Let's be real here.
It's gonna be tough to get by that. So yeah, those are my early predictions. Duff gets in the race. I think it's probably his. Shad's the best opponent against him to run the insurgency campaign. If he doesn't get in it, I think Shad has the best shot right now, unless Trump decides to say, I'm going to endorse Lynn Finch, which he could because they're close, from what I hear. That would hurt. I think that would hurt Shad in that event. And obviously there's no love lost between Lynn Finch and Shad White.
No, not at all. So what have we learned today? You need lots of money to run for governor.
Got to throw a football.
Be able to throw a football and get away with anything.
Yep.
Do not send PP pics to people unsolicited, or even if they are solicited, just don't send them.
Yeah.
And don't make fake Facebook accounts and go after people when you're crazy. So
probably
those are the lessons of today. We got to take our last commercial break. Y'all stay with us. We'll be right back here to wrap things up for the day. WIB 103.9. We'll be right back here to wrap things up for the day. WIB 103.9.
103.9 WYAB.
Looking to boost productivity and morale in the office? Let Huey Magoo's bring a delicious stress-free lunch right to your workplace. Perfect for team meetings, client presentations, or just a midday pick-me-up. Hand-breaded and grilled tenders, sandwiches, and salads. They make it easy. Just pick your favorites and they'll deliver everything right to your office. On time, no fuss, no hassle. Whether it's a working lunch, team celebration, or just because, let Huey Magoo's handle the meal and you handle the business. Huey Magoo's. Make someone smile today.
The weather is heating up and the deals are even hotter at Mazda of Jackson. Right now at Mazda of Jackson, you can drive home your dream Mazda with low financing rates available. 2.9% for 72 months on most models, or finance 36 months and pay just 0.9%. That's right, 0.9%. Experience Mazda's exhilarating performance, top-notch safety, and reliability. It's time to choose Mazda. Shop online at MazdaofJackson.com or visit Mazda of Jackson, I-55 Frontage Road in Jackson.
You know what's a nightmare? We've all seen that movie where the bad guy's coming and your gun jams up. Luckily, that's just a movie, but you can't take the chance it could happen to you in real life. Hey, y'all, I'm Therese Apel from Dark Horse Press, and I've written stories about a whole lot of situations where people needed their gun to work for them. So if yours is moody or likes to jam, you need to take it to Guns and Gear. Let their professional gunsmiths look at it and fix it so it'll work when you need it. They're the absolute best at what they do, and that's why I buy all my guns from them. That's Guns and Gear in Gluckstadt. Check them out today.
Here's what they're saying about Corcoran Door Company.
I'm going to yell out to one of your sponsors here, Corcoran Door. When the guy came out here, instead of just trying to throw a door up, he was looking at the way the house was facing. Man, with this double garage here on the south side, you might want to consider a insulated door. I came in earlier today about 2:30. The car thermometer said 99 degrees. The thermometer inside the garage was 82.
That's why they've been around 50 years.
Yeah.
Corkanddoor.com. CORKERN door.com.
Health has always been reactive, focused on fixing problems as they happen. But with Blue Primary Care, we're taking a proactive approach, working with you to help you understand your health and empowering you to be healthy. It's time to prioritize you, your health, and your life. The results? Less worrying and more living. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue.
It can be hard to move past the guilt, times of weakness and regret, knowing you weren't there for your family when they needed you the most. But there is life after addiction. We're seeing broken families restored, one man at a time, through our vehicle, cash, and thrift store donations. It's given Mercy House Adult and Teen Challenge the ability to help these men succeed in having better lives. Donate a vehicle, running or not, and we'll come pick it up. Call today, 601-572-7296, or visit us at vehicledonationsms.com.
Looking for the perfect spot to unwind with friends and family? El Patrio Mexican Restaurant is calling your name. With locations in Flowood and Cross Gates, Brandon, El Patrio is the cozy, family-owned gym where great food meets great times. Enjoy El Patrio's signature margaritas and happy hour specials that keep their customers coming back for more. Indulge in their authentic Mexican dishes prepared with love and served in a warm, family-friendly atmosphere. Come to El Patrio and taste the traditions. El Patrio, where family, flavor, and fun come together.
Hi, this is Lee Atkins of Home Care Plus in Ridgeland. We are a proud carrier of Abena Premium Incontinence products. Abena has the most absorbency available, making changes and leaks less likely. After 7 years as a seller, I can tell you these products are amazing and worth every penny to quality of life for patient and caregiver. And we ship all incontinence products as well. So please come see us at Home Care Plus in Ridgeland for all the incontinence needs of you or your family member. That's Home Care Plus in Ridgeland.
Come together.
We are back here to wrap up the show for today. Shaun, what you got going this afternoon?
I've got a really huge appointment with the dog groomer. No, then I actually have a client meeting after that.
But it really is, because y'all don't understand. This dog has so much anxiety.
Yeah.
And she freaks out when she goes to the vet. And she has seizures too. So then you get worried that she's going to have a seizure. And the last time she went, the place that he normally takes her couldn't get him in and kept canceling. So he took her somewhere different. And then they called him like halfway through and said, does she normally shake and act
Yeah,
like
she
this?
does. That's her. She's got a lot of anxiety like her dad.
They are two peas in a pod, let me tell you.
Yeah. So I'm going to run do that. And then I got a meeting. So it's a busy afternoon.
Busy afternoon. I guess you're not planning on sending any illicit, inappropriate pictures.
Nope. Not gonna do that. Maybe do you think Brett would send one to Shad, just like as a peace offering?
No.
Come on, Shad, here's my PP pick. Just let it go. Let's let the feud go. Just forgive the interest, but bro,
I don't even know why that would even,
like a PP pick and a signed Favre jersey.
That thought.
It's just a thought process. I'm just trying, I'm always a peacemaker. So
I don't even know why that thought would even go through your head.
No, I mean, Chad could post it to Twitter if you wanted to, picture of him in the PP pick and the Favre jersey. Like
I have no comment. I have no comment. Can I return to sender?
Yeah. It's just a thought process,
Whatever. Yeah, and one thing we forgot to mention during all of that is like his wife had cancer and was going through chemo.
Oh yeah.
During a lot of that time, it's like,
yeah,
dude,
him and Newt Gingrich did the same thing. See, that's what you Republicans do. Your wife's going through cancer and you're cheating on him. That's it.
Oh my! How is that a Republican thing?
Because I'm just saying Newt Gingrich was the Speaker of the House and he did that.
But how many Democrats do we know that have done?
Probably
the same?
A lot. I'm just using that right now.
What's his name? What's Elizabeth Adams? Who was that? What? Not Elizabeth Adams. The one whose wife had cancer and he was running for.
John Edwards. John Edwards. Yes, he's terrible too.
Yeah, that Democrat.
Yeah, it's so funny because you really can't use party labels when it comes to human beings because we're all pieces of crap.
Wait, speak for yourself. Not all of us.
Yeah, it's bipartisan to be a piece of crap.
It's bipartisan to cheat on your spouse, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Well, y'all come back. See us tomorrow. Same time, same place. We'll be here breaking it all down.